Over the last few days, there's been a raging debate on social media and on television news about Lenskart and its valuations. You might have an opinion as well, but we're going to talk about that in just a bit. Before we do, we're going to talk about who the anchor investors are that have piled in ahead of the start of the IPO today. And Mahima Vachhajani joining in to tell you about the who's who. Mahima, the interesting point here is that half the book is foreign.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and as you rightly mentioned, with Lenskart IPO, I think FIs are back in IPOs as well overall. Because if you take a look at the last 3 IPOs, I mean, I'll try to give that data as well. But just to give viewers a brief about how the anchor book allocation looks like right now, over 8 crore shares have been allocated at the upper price band at 402, and that roughly translates to over 3,200 odd crores for the anchor book allocation. In terms of the FI holding that Alex was talking about, 52% of the anchor book allocation right now is FI holding. And if you take a look at the last 3 IPOs and see as to how the allocation between FI and DI holding has been, for LG it was at around 25%, and for Tata Capital it was at 34%, and with Lenskart it is more than 50%. So 52% of anchor book is FI holding, and around 48% is domestic institutional investors. Now this FI holding, if you take a look at the top FI allocations from this anchor book, New World Fund is around 3.82%, T. Rowe Price International is around 3.1%, and Government of Singapore at around 2.9%. And this is the total allocation in terms of value as well for all of these 3 anchor investors. In terms of domestic names, you have names like HDFC Mutual Fund, ICICI Pru, Kotak Mutual Funds, as well as Axis Mutual Fund. And in terms of the overall participation with regards to where other names are concerned in the domestic space, you have Aditya Birla Sun Life, Miraset, DSP, as well as White Oak. But the interesting part here, as Alex mentioned, the debate has been about high valuations. If you take a look at Lenskart, and that's been the debate, right? The price to earning for 1 year forward is around 202 times, and whether this kind of valuation is justified or not, probably something that the street is liking, in why anchor investor book looks this strong, could be 3 to 4 possible reasons. One being revenue growth has been at a strong CAGR of 33% in the past 3 years, has turned profitable in FY25, and in terms of the overall supply chain, they control the entire value chain, which gives them a good operating leverage as well. And of course, marquee investor names have also come in before the IPO. You have names like SoftBank, Tamsek, and Radhakishan Damani, which is just invested before the IPO around 90 odd crores. So all of these reasons could be, the reasons as to why the anchor book allocation also looks so strong.
Agreed. So a couple of things that the marquee investors you talked about obviously did not come at the levels that the anchor investors have come in, and the anchor investors have a different kind of appetite. So is Lenskart IPO for you?